Okay, so this video, we're gonna talk about just general closing, the way to set up your paper, um, how to isolate them back to the money, okay? And then how to get on the phone with the manager. So we'll keep it pretty simple. So first things first, we're gonna have our folder open. It's gonna have all the products that we're gonna be using, right, on the roof. Now, if it's TPO, a little bit different, you're not. But anyway, for shingle, for the most part, you have all your product list, list lined up. So what you can use is you can either use this sheet here or the other sheet there in combination with the folders, but you want to give a quick recap of what they're going to get for the dollar invested, okay? Now, what do we know, assuming that we pre-close, what do we know right now before we even lay a price across this table?
Other than price, there's no reason they wouldn't put it on their home.
Right, so other than price and terms, there's no reason in the world we're not putting these shingles on their home, okay? When you lay a price across the table that's outside of what they were initially anticipating, guess what happens sometimes?
They clam up.
Well, of course, they clam up, defenses go up, sticker shock happens. And on top of it, what could happen is they could give you an excuse why they're not comfortable moving forward, right? That has nothing to do with money.
Right.
Because some people are proud and just, I don't want to tell you I can't afford that. So I'll tell you in another way I could think of, like, well, everything looks good. I just want to run it by my uncle. He's in construction. He knows more about this than I do. Or we never make snap decisions. I need 24 hours to think about it. I made a bad decision in the past, didn't go well for me, so I want to do a better job this time around. Or I just want to think about it, or you know what, I'm going to get a few more estimates. Whatever the excuses that they're giving you, that's not, wow, that's a lot of money, too much money. It's really going to circle back to the money ultimately, right? Because had it come in the budget that they were hoping for, we're moving on it. If there's something that you need, want, and desire and you can't afford, you wait, right? When that item suddenly becomes affordable, what do?
You buy it.
Right. You want it, you need it, you desire it,
You buy
get it, right? So this negotiation is literally that simple. If you go all the way through the presentation properly and you're confirming everything that they don't want, right, which is equally as important as confirming what they do want, the decision at the end, so clear in their mind, is very simple. They already know at this point they want to have a certified roofer because they don't want to risk their investment by using someone who doesn't have any factory backing on workmanship. They already know that they don't want to use someone who uses granular ice and water because of potential delamination in the future. They already know they don't want to use a non-waterproof underlayment that runs the risk of leaking water in their home, right? They already know if they were to use a shingle that has a chalk line nail zone, there will be nails out of place.
Right.
Especially when they're moving at a rate of speed of 1,500 fasteners an hour. Something's going to be missed, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They already know from a ventilation standpoint, if I put a filter up there, it's going to clog. If I put a rolled vent, okay, this venting parallel to the decking of the roof, wind's going to come up that roof and break that siphon and push heat and moisture back upside down into my home where I don't want it, right? So they already know they don't want that, and they know that the baffle design guarantees airflow, and it works even faster when the wind blows, keeping the humidity and the heat level down, which prolongs the life of the roof dramatically, right? They already know all these things because we took the time to explain them. We took the time to get the commitments that they don't want this and they do want that. So by the time you get to the end and you give the pre-close, they know, no, this is the right thing to do. If this comes in my budget, this is the right way to do it, and this is how I want to get it done. So in their mind, that's the mind state that they have. They're hoping that this is not going to be too much money and this is going to come in as something reasonable that they can swing, right? So at that point, in the pre-close, if they give you no other than money, no reason in the world, do you think they're comfortable with you?
Yeah.
Of course they are. Think they're comfortable with Bentley?
Yeah.
Of course they are, right? They're comfortable with the system, right? So the only thing left is money. You already know that.
Right.
So no matter what comes out of their mouth, when you put someone under pressure to respond, and they don't have a practiced answer, right? They don't know what to say. They're just going to say something
Right.
because they're under the spot under pressure. How many times have you been under pressure and forced to respond that you weren't really prepared to respond? The words come out and you sit back and go, yeah, that didn't come out so smooth.
Yeah.
Or you jumble it trying to talk to a girl and you're like,
All the time.
Oh, I never had that problem. I'm smooth.
I know, James.
I said all the time before.
James,
he said talk to
James
a
Lee,
girl.
man, the Asian persuasion,
Yeah.
man. He's got everything. He's smooth
Smooth.
as could be, man.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is your customers sometimes they get overwhelmed, okay, and they just spurt an answer out, but they don't really mean it, okay. We're there to help them. We're the catalyst to help them make the right decision. We don't want to push them. We don't want to pressure them. We don't need to. We just need to give them clarity, okay, at the end. That's it, just simple clarity. And then, of course, we help them clear their mind up, get back on track that money's the only thing holding them away from moving forward with us today. And then we're going to work with them and come up with a happy medium where they can get everything that we promise and they want at a price point that we know 100% we can still deliver on every little thing promised, right?
Right.
And you know what? Sometimes the customer's just not our customer.
Yeah.
Right? I am not going to go and put subpar material, hire a cheaper crew because they're half the price per square as these guys, and run the risk of their job getting botched.
Right.
Not going to happen. Sometimes we're just not the right company, right? Because not everybody cares. But we put that work on, we're liable for it. If we put low quality underlayments and materials on, there's a chance there's going to be a service. If we use a risky crew, there's a big chance there's going to be a service, right? So that's something that you have to keep in mind always. And then when you're talking to a customer and you're a part on numbers, keep that in mind, right? Hey, to do everything I promised you, there's a certain point where I just can't pass and still afford to pay these guys, still afford to give you the better cap shingles, the better underlayments, better shingles, the better ridge vent. You know, there's a certain breaking point. Can I come up with a lower price? Of course. It's just we would have to revisit that conversation on what you're expecting out of this roof because it's not going to be the same, right?
Right.
So you kind of get the flow of it. So a lot of it before you even get into a close, you want to be in the right mind state, right? And understand what that customer's thinking at that moment. And then also you got to be thinking the right thing in that moment. And you got to be relaxed, right? Nice and relaxed. Because when I'm pricing somebody out, you're the one who has to spend the money. I don't, right? I'm just trying to help you make a better decision and take the pressure off of you of having to see 7 different companies, cross-examine estimates, and look at something that you really don't know much about because you don't do it for a living.
Your charger?
Yeah. All right.
This will reach you.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Making sense, so?
Cool. Is this
Yeah.
Everything making sense?
No.
Oh,
This is
you
the
need-
phone. I need that. I use this too.
Is that the same?
Yeah. No, that's the.
That's. You know what?
Never mind. I'll grab mine. I just thought you had.
Oh, you have that other one, the new Apple one.
Yeah, because I have the bigger one.
Yeah.
The bigger ones have the other one.
Okay.
No, I don't.
That's what she said. But anyway, yeah. But all right, so let's kind of dive into it. So the first thing that you're going to do is you want to do a quick recap. Okay. Very brief. We're not selling here.
Right.
Very, very simple. Okay. So let me give you a quick example. What I like to do is I like to open the folder up and say, this is going to be your material list of everything we're going to use. Let me take out these 3 brochures of the materials we're not going to use. The Pro Armor, the rigid roll, ridge vent, and then the granular ice and water. Let's put those to the side. This material list on the right side, when the material's dropped on your home and Eddie gets here with the crew, you can literally take this folder outside and you can match this up with the stuff coming in the packages. Okay, what are we telling our customer?
We're delivering on what we promised.
Exactly. Right? I'm giving you the brochures I promised you today so you can make sure it's the same stuff that showed up to your doorstep.
Right.
Right? Open book, it's clarity. Makes them feel more comfortable. So a quick recap on the job. We're going to strip everything down. We include up to 3 sheets with the job. Above and beyond that is going to be $100 a sheet installed. That's everything. That's removing, labor, installation, you name it. And then, of course, with the wood, they use it sparingly. As you saw in my pictures, they'll cut a square out like this instead of wasting a whole 4x8 sheet, right? All the metalwork, accessory pieces, flashing, skylight flashing kits, whatever we need to properly seal and do everything on your home, everything's included standard to bring it up to platinum standards, okay? Next thing we're gonna do on this roof is we're gonna have the non-granular ice and water. That's the one that had no rocks on top for permanent seal. Then you're gonna have that waterproof underlayment, the deck defense that has the standalone 30-year warranty. In addition to that, you're gonna have the starter strip plus, which is the starter strips that run the full perimeter. That's the super glue to the edge of your roof.
Yep.
Then you're gonna have that Shore Nail technology and the duration shingle, right? So that was the one with the big fabric strip instead of the chalk line. Remember that one? Great. We're also gonna address ventilation on the home. So in this particular project, that's all different.
Oh, you don't have the plug?
But there should be, James, if you wanna check,
Oh shit, you guys
No,
don't
this
have
is the, this is
a
the
USB
plug-in.
plug?
no, but there's gonna be, look around the office, there's gonna be one somewhere. So in addition to that, we're gonna address the ventilation on your home. So we're gonna make sure that there's proper intake and exhaust. At the top, we're gonna go with the baffle design for maximum airflow. And then last but not least, we're gonna seal it off with that Pro Edge Cap shingle. Any questions on the material list? All right, fantastic. The warranty that's gonna come with that, you're in a single family home, so I'm gonna get you that platinum warranty that's gonna cover a lifetime of workmanship, lifetime of material. And it transfers one time at a fee of $100 to the new owner. All they do is go online, register it, and then they submit proof of ownership. Okay? $100 for this roof is an absolute gift. I'm sure you can
Oh my
imagine.
God, such a fucking idiot.
What happened?
Go throw a charger. It's the same one that you guys. Fuck! Hey!
Every day can't be a banner day, it happens.
Here, you got this. Long cord.
Perfect.
There you go. Come on.
All right, so that was the quick recap. All right, so once the recap was done, we're gonna be able to do all of that work for only $1,025 a square. So I like to price it side by side with the customers. Then I'm gonna pull out the roof scope. Let's take a look at your roof. Boom, you have 20 square times 20, okay?
There you go. Power. Motherfucker.
That's gonna give you a total cost, and I'm gonna bring it down here. I want it to be kind of a third of the way down. 20,500, okay? Now, once you deliver that price, the 30-day price, or whatever you want to call it, okay? You've just recapped the work order. They know exactly where they're going to get everything for. Boom, they get hit with the big price, okay? Now, we need that price to sink in and sit there for a little bit.
Right.
So this is the time we start having a conversation with our customer about how we formulated that price for the package, okay? So what I would do is something along the lines of this. So Bill, how we formulated our price is pretty much we cross compared to, your cheapest way out, the more expensive competitors, and then also the national average. And then that's how they had positioned themselves at the $1,025 a square, because they thought it was very, very fair for what you're getting for the money. So let me just show you in comparison, because you can do this way, way, way cheaper, okay, than where I'm at. And I just want to go over those options with you as well, just so you're fully aware of everything that's available to you in the industry, okay? Nobody's going to say no to you taking them fucking shopping and giving them more prices, right? So you're going to have what's called the cost versus value report, okay? So I'm just going to ask you, hey, Bill, have you ever heard of the cost versus value report?
No.
You ever heard of Kelly,
Kelly Boo Boo.
Kelly Blue Book,
Yeah.
right? Where it tells you the average on cars. Imagine that, but just in home improvements,
Okay.
right? So let's say I want to do fencing, and I never had a price on fencing, and I'm not ready yet, but I want to just budget for next year so I know more or less what to set aside. I can actually go on there, and I could take a look at the current going rate for year 2023 and what the average price for a fence job is. Just so it kind of gives me a ballpark of where I need to be. Make sense?
Right. Yeah.
So let's take a look at the sheet here that they have on roofing. This is going to be the most current one that you have here. They're basing this off of a 30 square roof. You can look at the material list they're using. Doesn't have every component we're talking about, because remember, this is national. So there are certain regions in the country that don't require drip edge. They don't require ice and water shield because they don't see ice, right? So, but this is going to be your average across the entire United States. Gotcha, right? So the average cost for that roof is gonna be about $26,854. Now, how do you determine how that relates to your roof, right? Because your roof's only 20 square, right? You just take that 26,854 and simply divide it by the 30 squares they're basing it off of. And they're giving you an average of $895 a square. If you were to just simply multiply that by your 20 square, you should come up with an average price of around $17,900. Make sense?
Yeah.
So how do we know if that's accurate or not? Very simple. We've been doing this a long time, and we've, earned the business of a lot of customers who actually took the time to shop. Some people saw one company more, some people saw 5 more, right? And as me and James witnessed the other day, 15 estimates. I mean, so
No, she's got 7 because she wants 15.
7, we were
She
the age
had
when she was
seven.
getting.
Psycho.
She had 7. She probably has more now.
So what happens is, if you just take a look at some of these other companies out there and some of the other estimates out there, you can actually see how the national average lands at that 17.9. So take a look at this. Now again, it's a little bit outdated, but this was a few years back from Lowe's. This was pre-COVID prices, so obviously it's going up a little bit, but who cares? This is a 21 square job, almost the same size as yours. They're at $84.51 or $402 a square, right? So let's just say it's only going up, I don't know, 35, like maybe would you say it'd be fair to say the price went up 10%?
10, yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe 10% more from 5 years ago in COVID, right? So you just take that 400 times 1.1, about 440 a square, give or take for today, okay? Multiply that out by your 20, that's only $8,800. Substantially less than my 25 for the job, right?
Right.
And $10,000, almost $9,000 cheaper than the national average. Now you take a look, they're going to give you a nice shingle right there, right? So they're saying. But what does this say over here on the workmanship side? Labor covered for only 1 year. 1 year. Let me ask you a question. When companies or manufacturers put a warranty in place, they're liable for a certain period of time. If someone's stopping at 1 year and not going to 2 years or 5 years, what does that tell you about the confidence in their crews?
Stretches about a year.
Sure. I mean, it's just obvious there's a reason why it's a 1 year. The reason why it's a 1 year is most companies just bring random subcontractors in. They don't really know. And the state law in New Jersey or in Pennsylvania requires 1 year minimum. They have to stand behind their work. Okay? Otherwise, it's more like a lemon law situation with the cars.
Right.
Right? So could you imagine if you drop $8,800 on your roof, a year and a month later you get a leak and you're told to go take a hike?
No.
And what do you think they're going to say? You got it in writing,
1 year?
right? So is it safe to say this is not the kind of quality you're looking for?
No.
Okay. So we could just throw that one in the garbage, okay? Now, on the flip side, you could take a look at this one right here. This one was actually with a company called Power. They're actually one of the largest roofing companies and remodelers right now in the country. So, hats off to them. They're moving a lot of shingle, doing a lot of business. But this roof was only 18 square, and it was $26,854 divided by 18. They were about $14.91 a square, okay? Now, it's gone up a little bit since then, but let's just multiply that by year 20. That's putting you at $29,837, give or take, for the job, okay? So if you look at the range here, that's about 10, 12,000 more. This is about 10,000 less, right? So can you see why the national average sits there around that 17.9?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is that all-inclusive GAF system, which has the granular ice and water and the the deck armor and all of that. But it's obviously, a pretty hefty amount of money. Were you looking to spend any more than my price of the 25?
Not if I don't have to.
Not if you don't have to. Okay. All right. So would it be safe to say that somewhere between that 25 and $8,800 you're putting a roof on?
Yeah.
Yeah, in that range? Gotcha.
Be an easy one. Be an easy one.
And can you see how we're slightly above the national average, right? We're not much more, maybe 10, 12% more, but you're getting that ice and water, you're getting the drip edge, and you're getting all the premium materials, right? So it's an above average system, obviously, with the longest warranty in the business,
Yeah.
right? Now, when you called in, did they offer any incentives or promotions to you?
Yeah, they told me there was 15%.
15%. Yeah, I forgot to check your notes. I apologize. So let me factor that in for you here. So that's going to be a savings of $3,075 coming off. So pretty substantial. So with that being said, look at my number. I'm 17.9 here. I'm below that now, so I'm going to write the number below that. I'm only 17,425. So now you're going to complete your entire project for less than the national average with the best roofing system money can buy. Isn't that an amazing value?
It's an amazing value.
Fantastic. So we have a couple different ways you can go about ordering your project. Were you looking to go out of pocket on this, or were you more budget conscious and looking for a monthly installment? What'd you have in mind?
Maybe a combo of both.
Maybe a combo of both. Okay, combo of both. So in a perfect world, let's just talk about a combo of both. So obviously you're planning to put something down, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. In a perfect world, what would be a comfortable down payment for you at this time without taking any food or bread off the table?
$1,000.
About $1,000. And is $1,000 good, or is that pushing it a little bit?
$1,000 should be fine.
Okay, $1,000 now. Okay, so that would leave you with 16,425 going to the bank. Okay, so in a monthly installment, what would be a comfortable monthly payment for you, or a range that you would hopefully try to keep the payment under with $1,000 down?
140.
Okay, so 140 up to?
Stick it at 140.
You're stuck at 140?
Stick it at 140.
Okay. So I got to ask you a question.
Good luck finding a roof.
That's why I said 140.
So let me ask you, so if I were to get this approved with only $1,000 down, okay, typically they usually do 10 to 20% down, it's almost like closer to two grand to 3,500. But if I could get this approved with only $1,000 down, and we could get you a payment at 140 or less a month, are we shaking hands?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say the customer goes that way first, right? We just slowed down, we took our time, we're selling payment. Now at that point, you're going to quote the payment at the standard payment factor, which is going to be 16,425 times 0.0132. You're still going to be around $217 a month, okay? With
Yep.
your program you have available to you.
Right.
Now, you're obviously not going to have the authorization to go, okay, here you go, $140 a month, right? There's a cost there. There's a fee to get that plan. But we do know 0.0089 times 16,425, that I'd be at 146 a month if I stretched it 15 years at an 8.99%, okay? So we're right there in striking distance. However, you've already given 15% off.
Right.
That's what you're authorized to give. There has to be a give and a take at this point, right? Value has to exchange. So my payment right now, sir, I'm at $217 a month, okay? Obviously, I'm not at your 140. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be talking right now. We would be signing this up. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Of course. So with that being said, I just want to just confirm, if there's a way I can get that payment down to 140 without touching quality, we're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Good? Okay. Company has a program. Again, it's not going to be for everyone. It may not even be for you. However, I've seen it help a lot of people in the past. Okay? What we have today is more of along the lines of a marketing / social media program where we've realized as a company, less and less people are willing to sit down and read referral letters. More and more people are opted to just go on their phone and scroll through videos, reels, things like that. right? People like to see just quick videos and then skip to the next one. So we've completely changed our marketing strategy at this point where we're really investing in our customers and we're really looking for real, true testimonials from real people that have used our company that we're able to post on our websites, post online, or share with other customers to encourage them to move forward with us, okay? So with this program, the way it works is it's a two-part program. We do some stuff now, and it's all going to be based off of my performance today with you. Okay, so you would rate me today, and we would do a quick referral video today on the 3 main reasons why you decided to use me and Bentley Roofing for your project, right? And then you have a Google Map. You have Google Maps on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a review like on a restaurant or a food place? So we would just go on, we would put a review on, and you would give me a rating today based on how you felt my performance was, okay?
Okay.
On the second part is, on the installation, we're going to do a second review and rating on the crew and how everything was handled on the back end, okay? So with that being said, on the back end, either myself or Lee Guerrero, the manager, is going to actually stop out to do the final video and take all the pictures, okay? In exchange for that, if you were to do that for us and keep a lawn sign out so the neighbors know who you used, I'm going to be willing to make a phone call to see if I can get this approved for you and get you where you need to be on a payment plan, okay? The thing is, those kind of plans, I just can't snap my fingers and do it because they're not free to me. They cost money, so I need an override from someone higher up to get it approved. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So do you mind just give me just a quick moment? I'm going to make a call.
Sure.
So at that point, you've isolated your customer down to, again, the only thing standing between us is price or terms right now. So this one's terms. You get me on the phone, I'll introduce myself to the customer, take a look at the project, see what we got going on, look at your roof scope, reconfirm numbers, make sure everything looks good. I'll determine a cost for that plan and then see where it puts us range-wise, okay? And then boom, I'll work the numbers, I'll get it done for you, I'll give you an authorization code for that. You'll write that down, you'll include it in your paperwork,
Gotcha.
okay? And then from that point forward, we're going to track that customer because we are getting those referral videos in the beginning 100%. We're getting our review before we leave. And then after install, we are following up and we are taking pictures. We're doing the drone aerial footage on the jobs and we're getting those referral videos because, you know, it's the best way for people to understand who we are and what we do.
I got my video yesterday. I completely.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
I'll
Awesome.
send it to you. We
Awesome.
started talking. I forgot to give him a go on and give a review. But
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
the
yeah.
video, so.
So let's just say, so that was pretty much going to be, you know, a general percentage of the people we see. That's more or less where you're going to end up with. You got to target a monthly payment.
Right.
Let's say we got a cash buyer and we're at 17,425, right? And they tell you, well, thank you for your time. You know, I'm just going to mull this over for a couple of days and I'm going to get back to you probably by Friday, Saturday. How would you handle that?
I'll get you on the phone.
Before you get me on the phone, what could you do?
I'll remind him of the soft close. Well, you know, you already told me that other than price, there's no reason in the world why you wouldn't put this on your home. So, you know, where are we? What price did you have in mind? What cost did you have in mind?
Okay, now you're on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
You're heading to the right direction, but you're moving too fast and you're skipping something.
Okay.
What you want to do at this point here is in the close, they're going to fall into one of 3 buckets, right? One is just going to be the terms bucket where if you can make it happen with this down payment, this monthly payment, we're in.
Right.
We don't really care about the price. We just want to fit these terms. This is what I can afford. Right, so that's like the customer walking up and sees the sports car they love and they don't give a crap about the price because they love it. Just get me under $500 a month, I'm buying this thing.
Right.
And all I got to put down is $3,000. Right? So a lot of people, that's someone who's buying because they just really love what you have and they want to get it, right? Any means possible. There are some customers though that want to negotiate a little bit more, and you got to be able to handle them properly. So it's going to fall into 1 of 2 buckets. Bucket number 1 is they're just going to flat out tell you it's the money. Okay? So when they say, you know what, it's too much money, there's a certain process that we're going to use to handle that.
Right.
But the other way is they're going to say, you know what, Got to get other estimates. Think about it. Family, friend. There's going to be some excuse on why we're unable to move forward today at 17,425, right? What do we already know now? And you were right on track with what you were saying.
It's the money.
It's the money, right? But again, for me to turn around and just tell you, well, you know, you told me earlier it's the money, so it's the money. You don't need to talk to nobody, right?
Yeah,
It almost comes across like a,
kicked out.
well, it's just because it's like disrespectful and I'm not respecting what you have
Right.
to say, right? And not everybody's going to care, but some people may take it the wrong way, right? So how I would handle it is I want to bridge them back to the money,
Mhm.
okay? Easy way to do that is just remember that we're working a gap here,
Right.
okay? There's going to be a gap here. So I would say something along the lines of, I can appreciate that, that you want to get other estimates, right? Because earlier you told me, Lee, if this thing fits into my budget, there's no reason in the world I'm not putting it on my home, right? You're just being a man of your word, right? Are you going to try to go out and get a few estimates to see if it's worth spending the difference between your initial budget you had thought it was going to be and my price? Is that where you're going to continue to shop?
Yeah, see if I can get a little bit a better deal, I guess.
Yeah, better. You just want to make sure you're getting the better value.
Make sure I'm not getting screwed over.
Gotcha. Okay, so really what it boils down to, I mean, ultimately, this would be fair to say, is that you're just being a man of your word. I'm just a little bit outside of your budget that you wanted to be at,
Yeah.
right? Because obviously, had I come in at your budget, we're not even having this conversation, are we?
No.
Gotcha. Now, let's just think about it, and family friend real quick, just so you can hear the verbiage, and then we're going to go to the next few steps, which is going to be when, how, and how much, which I'll explain. So we're not going to rush to a phone call and a discount. We're just going to have a conversation right now. I'm trying to understand you, and I'm here to work with you.
Right.
I'm going to take my time. I'm not in a rush. Get you on paper. Who cares?
That was the difference between Andre today.
Right.
Like Andre called Lee as soon as he hit a little bit of a wall. You know what I mean? You should never call your boss unless you get some kind of commitment. You know what I mean?
But it
Lee
takes-
help him out because Lee has no idea where he's at then.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to say? That's why he's doing these steps. So now when you actually call him where he wants you to call, Lee knows exactly where you're at.
Right,
And
right.
Earlier,
through
it
this.
was
Right.
like a fucking shit show because Andre's saying all this shit on the phone, and Lee's like, "What the fuck? You didn't talk about that." You know what I mean? So it's like he has no idea where he's at. So they're not even matching together. So it's hard for him to even try to close that person, and they're not even on the same page. You know what I mean?
It just-
that's why there's steps.
But the good news is, I mean, and this is the way I see it. Once you guys learn this, it's only going to get easier for you. It's only
Right.
going to get easier for me. You know what I mean? My goal is to put money in your pocket, help the customer out at the same time. Everybody gets a good value out of it, right? I mean, plain and simple. So let's jump back to this for a second. Think about it, family, friend, so on and so forth.
Right.
So let's just say you get done, you're like, you know what? I don't make snap decisions. I just need 24 hours, to more or less to mull it over. What would you say?
24 hours to mull it over.
Yeah.
Better yet, I'll give it Thori sign right here.
Yeah. Give you 3 hours
Yes.
to mull over.
No, he has 3 days.
Oh well.
He's
I don't want to
asking-
sell. I'm not selling them.
No,
already.
I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
All right, so real quick, because we're recording live here.
Oh.
This is where everybody's going to be studied off of. So what would you say?
No, I understand that. You want to make sure that you're making the right decision. You already told me that if it fit within your budget, you feel comfortable putting these products on your roof, right?
Right.
Yeah. So just try to bridge back to the money, like you said.
Okay. So how would you finish that?
I'm gonna wait until you tell me, because I'm gonna botch it like a mother.
All right. But that's how you get better. Is you
Yeah.
just get better screwing it up. And then you get more comfortable. So you want to think about it? I can appreciate that. Bill, I mean, listen. Earlier you told me, Lee. Other than affordability, there's no reason in the world why I wouldn't want to put this on my home. So by you telling me that you want to take a little bit more time to think it over, are you going to be thinking about spending the difference between your budget and my price? Is that what you want to think about?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, again, you're just being a man of your word. You told me. I remember. You know what I mean? I completely understand you. But obviously, had I come in at the budget that you were anticipating, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now, would we?
No.
And then what I start to do is I start to clean up. As I'm asking that sentence, I'm cleaning up. Okay. Why? Because I'm going to give them the body language of it's over.
Right.
It's called the
Take
give up.
away.
Yep. I just
Well,
want to
give
just. If I'm asking that question, I'm sitting here with a pen ready to go.
Yeah.
My body language says the complete opposite of what I'm asking you.
Right.
Right? It's all got to match. Closing up. Yeah, I can understand. You know, again, look, listen. You told me.
Yeah.
Other than money, no other reasons. So I understand. I would be thinking about it too. Right? I mean, obviously, you know, had we come in at the budget, you anticipate we wouldn't have been having this conversation, would we?
No.
I got you. Now, once I get everything, I start to clean up a little bit, and then the family members, the same thing. The reason why you want to talk to them is to see if it's worth spending the difference between
Yeah,
your budget and my
circle
price,
back
right?
to that gap.
Everything's the gap,
Yeah.
right? Because they've already committed to a certain number in their head, and you're just more.
Right.
So they're thinking, is it worth it or is it not? Do I need the best stuff, or do I just roll the dice and get something cheaper and see what happens? Okay. If you get close enough in striking distance, everyone's gonna, you know, just say, you know what? Let me get the better stuff. Let me not run a risk.
Right.
All right. So when, how, and how much. So what I do here with the customer is, then I ask them. I got everything kind of packed to the side here real quick. You know, I look like I'm ready to rock and roll, and I'm just gonna ask you. So I got to ask you a question. When were you actually hoping to get this thing installed?
2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month.
Okay, so like a month and a half, maybe.
Yeah, before it runs the risk of snow.
Oh, okay. So pre-snow. Okay, gotcha. And at that time, when you're going to actually get it done, when you're going to install it, how were you looking to pay for it? Were you looking to just do out of pocket or monthly installments, combination of both?
Well, if it's in my budget, I'll just pay for it.
Oh, okay. You just pay for it. Gotcha. So that was your original plan. You just wanted to be once
Yeah,
and
no
done.
payments. Just be
No
done.
payments. Gotcha. Okay. Got it. And then in about a month and a half, when you're actually going to do it or get it installed, you know, what were you hoping to not exceed on this project at that time, when you're going to do it?
Around 13, 14.
Up to?
Let's say up to 15.
Up to 15K. Got it. Now let me ask you a question. I mean, let's say I never came out today. I come out for the first time a month from now. And I show you everything identically the same about my company, my product lines, warranties, you name it. But instead of me being at $17,425, I slide a price across the table of 15K.
That would work for me.
What would you do at that time?
That would work for me.
It would work for you?
Yeah.
You would pay for it?
Yeah.
Move forward?
You're making it too easy now.
But that's usually what I actually get. The funny thing is,
I know, but you gotta give him a little bit so he does his thing.
Yeah,
So-
I
no,
know.
you're good. This is perfect because I want it to flow. This is good. So, let me ask you a question. If I were to do gorgeous job. I mean, you saw my job photos. My guys do great work, right? So if I were to do a stellar job here and catch the attention of the neighbors, you know, in the neighborhood, what do you think the chances are that I might be able to get a couple referrals out of this?
Probably pretty good.
Probably pretty good. Has anyone ever put like lawn signs for driveway work, fencing,
Oh,
or
yeah.
something, and then people in the neighborhood use them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. No, that's fantastic. So, right now you're trying to get a roof done, right? Pre-winter time,
Mm-hmm.
right? We want to get it done before the snow hits. I noticed in the neighborhood it's like a mixture. Some roofs have been done, but a lot haven't been done. You know, what do you think the chances are that there's other people in here also shopping right now for a roof for the winter time?
Probably a pretty good chance.
Probably pretty good chance. Got it. So here's the thing. I mean, looking at it from a business standpoint, knowing that if a job sign hits your front lawn, this neighborhood's pretty good for activity. Chances are, if another roofer gets in here before me and they put their sign out, those potential referrals that I will get a month from now by installing your job at 15K are probably all going to be gone and go with the other guy if everyone's happy with him, right?
Could
Fair
be.
to say?
Could be.
So knowing that we're at a discrepancy of budget here, right? We're $2,400 apart. I'm at 17,425 and you're at 15. When do you think my company would be more willing to sacrifice a little profit? Now, before any other company gets a job sign in the lawn, and so I can beat them to it, or a month from now after they're all gone?
I would hope now.
You hope now, right? So we do have a program for customers that they're comfortable with me, they're comfortable with the company and the products. The only thing standing between us is just price and price alone. And if we were able to hit their budget, we wouldn't even be talking, we would be moving forward. Would you say that fits you?
That fits me.
The description fits you? Okay, great. So if there was a way I could get you today at or close to that 15K without sacrificing 1 ounce of quality, giving you everything I promised you, we'd be moving forward?
You can get me at the 15.
At the 15 flat? Okay. Now, again, there's always two ways to get there. One is the program I have. It's not for everybody. I'm not sure it's going to be for you, but I've seen it help a lot of people in the past, okay? The other way is, and the easiest way to hit 15K is just do a $15,000 system.
Right.
Remember those underlayments like the Pro Armor I showed you in the granular ice and water? It all costs a little bit less, right? So that is one option, is we could reduce quality and warranty to get, 15 or below, or do you really want to focus on keeping everything the same?
I want what you showed me.
You want what I showed you? Okay, great. So let's take a look here. I want to keep everything we showed you. Let me ask a question. Do you have a Google account, like like Google Maps?
Yeah.
Okay, you have Google Maps. Have you ever left a review, like on a restaurant or something like that?
Yeah.
Great, great. Let me ask you a question. When you go into Google Maps, I used to travel a lot for work. If I go into a town I'm not familiar with, and I'm in the hotel, and I want to pick a place to go eat, and I see two places. One's got 100 reviews and they're 3.3 stars, and another one's got 100 reviews and they're 4.5 stars. Which restaurant are you going to?
4.5.
So can you see how valuable it is as a business to have a decent rating on Google Maps?
Yep.
Okay. So if you were to leave me a review on my performance today, that's beneficial to us as a company, because customers see that, right? And a lot of people cringe, sometimes at the sales experience, because not all companies are fun to deal with,
Right.
in the house. So it's a two-part program that we have. It's our social media program, where we're just trying to reach customers in a modern way and speak to them in a modern way that makes sense to customers today. Most customers today like to see photos, videos, different things, various things like that. They don't really read as much as they used to. It's all videos nowadays, like TikToks and Reels, right? So with that being said, we have a special program. It is available on the first appointment only. The whole point of it is I'm looking to run more efficient so I don't have to come back again. So I can be in another home giving another estimate, right? So if you save me a trip back out and then you help me market, A, I run more efficient, and B, it actually helps me sell more jobs. Make sense?
Yeah.
And that's where the value comes in. That's why we're willing to reduce the price a little bit, okay? I don't make the final call on pricing. I've given you everything I'm authorized and allowed to do, but I am going to get the person on the phone that can help me with the cost, okay, that does have the authority to. But before I do that, I'm going to need a couple things, okay? Number one, price confidentiality. Super important. The whole point of this is to earn your business back of your neighbors. Obviously, if you have a friend, family member you need me to take care of, not everyone, here and there, let me know. I'll make sure they're taken care of for you. I will see them personally. Okay? But outside of that, just general neighbors and stuff, we'll give them a good value, but I can't do the same thing for everybody. Just defeats the purpose. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, second thing is I need people to know who's doing the job, so I would have to put a lawn sign out. Could leave it out for a couple weeks to a month.
Yeah.
That's fine.
No problem.
Afterwards, just chuck it out. No worries. Just throw it out. In addition to that, it's a two-part referral system we're going to do. So we do job photos before, during, and after. Okay, so we have a whole photo album on your job. We do a referral video in the beginning, like these. So you should have, at this point, shown them some referral videos.
Okay.
Before you get into pricing. They should see a couple referral videos, pictures, you name it. So remember earlier when I showed you those videos? That's what I'm talking about. So that's just the before video,
Mhm.
okay? And it's just gonna be the main reasons why you decide to move forward with me today. Any issues with the video? Is good?
No, it's fine.
Fantastic. The other thing is you would leave me a review today on my performance with you, okay? Now, the second part is gonna be a referral video and a review on the crew's performance, okay? So this is all about us today up front. Second part's gonna be on the back end.
Right.
Okay? And then also, of course, we're gonna come out and take pictures of the job as well. And do the video all at one time on the back end. So all of that makes sense? Sounds good?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, great. Now I'm gonna get me on the phone.
Okay.
Why? I have the customer committing to doing everything we need, which builds value, right? So I'm not just gonna take a job to 15 for no reason. I gotta get something back out of it. Why would I lose the margin?
Right.
Right? But I'm gonna make an investment in that customer because I know it's gonna pay dividends later if we do that, right? We get a guaranteed job in, they're happy as can be, they're gonna recommend us to family and friends, and even if they don't recommend us, people will drive by and see the work, right? So it is a win-win-win-win-win all the way around, okay? Now, I've also taken the time to understand their terms. So I've brought them back to the money, right? Then I found out in a perfect world, when would they pay for it, how would they pay for it, and how much are they hoping to keep? Down payment, total price, all of that. What are your terms? So that's what we're trying to understand. What in a perfect world, what are your terms? We already know they have $1,000 to put down, right? We've confirmed that earlier. So obviously at 15K, right now, you're telling me I could go straight cash. Okay? So obviously this guy's got maybe a line of credit or he's got some money sitting somewhere. So we've determined, and this is what I need you guys to do, at what terms would they actually say yes?
Right.
Right? That's your job in a house, is to determine what gets this done now. My job is to just be the authority to approve it. Make sense?
Yeah.
So as time goes on, that's what we want you guys to be able to accomplish. But you see how much time I took before I even got to a phone call?
Yeah.
I slowed the fuck down.
Yeah.
Big time.
Don't look
This
like
is-
you're jumping on it to get
This is relaxed, nice conversation.
almost like a ham walking out the door anyway. So
Exactly. And at the end of the day, this is a very big decision because this is the last roof they're ever going to put on their house.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what you want to, want to have, in the back of your mind. So that's plenty for this video for you guys to review.